In this video, you'll learn about proactive AI and its potential impact for your business. Instead of asking or laying out steps for your AI to help you, it can start anticipating your needs and taking action. Is this exciting or a little scary? Let's find out. Welcome to the AI Accelerator for Business show brought to you by 0 to 60.ai, where you get the latest strategies, tactics, and information about the business benefits of artificial intelligence. My name is Carl Ye, and I'm joined by my co-host Jeff Bradshaw. And today we're talking about reactive versus proactive AI. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, Jeff, is I've been using ChatGPT's Pulse, which is only available to pro users, and I've been using it for about 2 weeks now. It is pretty amazing on what it can do. So what I want to do is I want to share my screen here a bit. This is Pulse, and the things that I want it to do is I want it to show me Claude skills, MCP, and I initially thought it was just a bunch of news, right? Like aggregate news, but it actually isn't. So it does aggregate some news, but take a look at this. So for example, here, this isn't news. This is AI looking not just at what I want it to do, but it's also looking at my threads, my conversations from the previous day. And so this isn't news. This is just providing me potential information that it thinks that I could potentially use based on the conversations I had before. And then I can save it as a chat and save it um, as well. So there's that. Prevent fatigue. You've been refining your like I really was refining my Claude code setup. Here's how to ship practical, and it's giving me actual skills. Like here's skills that you could do. Payable, like there's two of our clients there too. Like this is kind of great because now I have potential use cases that I can apply. And it, again, isn't just news, it's actually skills, SharePoint skills, right? Because some of our clients use SharePoint and then just things that I want, but it's actually giving examples based on my conversations, which and here's some of the new stuff, right? So company knowledge rolls out this. You've been prepping for a briefing. Here's the ones to keep you safe, because one of the things I wanted to curate was AI adoption. And so I just thought, generally, I thought this was really neat in the proactive AI that goes out and looks at stuff for you and brings you back something.
Like, I mean, the potential of this and where this is going, I think, is amazing because when you think about, companies that are spending most of their time firefighting, this really starts to be more proactive. And I think it's interesting because you're right, it's not just news feeds. And I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but from what I've read about it and the videos I've watched and everything, it literally, if you give it access to your calendar and your email and everything else, you could be waking up in the morning, turning on your computer, and it's going to help you start to set priorities and start to do some of those tasks or provide that information from the start of your day rather than going, okay, what do I have today? What do I need to get done? What are the priorities? What have I been procrastinating on? It's going to help become more efficient. And again, some of the videos, and again, you played with it, you know more about it, but even it was talking about examples of, okay, hey, you've got a vacation planned this weekend. Can I help you create a pack list or create an itinerary for the weekend? Or this is early stages because I think it was released September 25th.
Yeah.
Just think about, as you say, proactive AI and the impacts.
Yeah, and what I really enjoyed about it is giving me recommendations based on, what I was doing before. Now, some people will be like, that's kind of a little too much in terms of privacy because what people are using AI for. And as you can see, very specific topics. I use AI a lot for client work and really going into AI skills, but it's just neat to see what it could do. So I was thinking about, hey, what are some potential use cases of this, right? So it's like if you have a construction project and and maybe it's not necessarily to do with Pulse, but it's like it monitors your timelines, procurement data, and then in the mornings, it would just push you information about it. Maybe, well, we were talking about this too, where for one client, they were trying to figure out, hey, what is the best scheduling for our teams? And it's all reactive, right? So people have to put in their schedule, then they have to talk about it, and then someone has to, at the end figure out, okay, maybe this person is better deployed here. This person has, the project isn't starting, maybe they'll deploy it here. What if it can do that automatically, right? So it can give you, let's say, pulse type information in the morning. Oh, Janet has is overloaded today, but Mark isn't because his project is just completed or started. We can definitely help Janet with this. Like that would be crazy.
What and I think again, I always think about 6 months from now, 12 months from now, if you think of the base framework of what this is providing, you could literally wake up in the morning. Like today, I wake up in the morning, I'm going, okay, we got to record some podcasts with Carl.
Mm.
I got a meeting at noon with this client. I got to get this done this afternoon. I get this report done. And oh, geez, I haven't gone for a run for the last couple of days. So I need to get a run in and I got to book that dinner with so and so. If I was just having a conversation with my AI and it knew all of that stuff and it had that history, and all of a sudden it starts to say,
Yeah.
oh, great, here's the information to help get all these tasks done. I mean, the efficiency that could create. And when you talk about a construction project, once it understands the project, and if you have your project managers, your site supers giving even voice updates on a daily basis, it's going to help, you know,
Yes.
change those schedules and keep modifying things so that you can be as efficient as possible.
Yeah. And I think this is very interesting where this could potentially go because it's no longer us telling an AI what to do, no matter what it is, right? Whether it's an agent or just regular use, we all still are telling what it's supposed to do. But now it's sort of in very, the MCP, the Chat GPT Pulse kind of is going off and based on your history, thinking what are the things that you may want. And yeah, especially the calendar thing of being optimal with your schedule. How would that work? That's pretty amazing. So, like, I don't know if you've ever watched the movie. There was a movie on Netflix called, I think it's Atlas something. It starred Jennifer Lopez. It was something to do with mechs. But I remember in the opening scene, she woke up and she said, and the AI in that movie was like, "Oh, um, good morning. This is what you have on, your calendar today. This is what you're going to do. What I recommend you do this, this, this." I'm like, that's very similar to what you just talked about.
It's being proactive and going out and pulling that information so that you're not having to go, okay, now I got to do this task. Now I got to prompt it to try and get the information. It's kind of 3 steps ahead of you and starting to line that information up so that when you're ready to get to that task, it's already got a lot of that backfilled research thinking done for you. So that's where I think those efficiencies come, where it
Yeah.
can start to line these things up for you, because we tend to start with tasks. It does nothing happens until the human starts a task,
Yeah.
makes a request, starts to write a report, books a meeting. Whereas if you've got your AI thinking a few steps ahead of you, um, wow, the potential's
Yeah.
huge.
Well, I got some examples of this, right? So for example, if you're in logistics and transportation, it's like, and it doesn't have to be complex too. It could be, you can monitor like traffic, weather, even your vehicle and your driver's log. And it actually sees, let's say at 3 in the morning, a storm will hit this major route. It can automatically just reroute it, just like Google Maps, right? It reroutes you to get to your destination, reroutes those to ensure delivery and what the estimated time on arrival for customers. And it can do all that with the inputs that it's getting. And the inputs are public information. They're not private.
Yep.
But then once you get into private data, and we all, and obviously that depends on clean data too, right? So your data better be clean or else the output is pretty crappy. How about for success in let's say SaaS or industrial service, right? It can scan data in terms of like what kind of tickets that the customers are always requesting, usage, payment patterns, and this is proactively, not you providing it, and it flags the people who are shown declining engagement or an email check-in, and this is done proactively. So
Yep.
for high risks accounts, it could start recommending different tasks based on all of that as it monitors. So there's one. And then for HR, it could monitor, time cards. We always talk about scheduling. We talk about we've seen how people are putting in the information. It could notice that, hey, you know what, maybe certain person's licenses have expired, or hey, your invoices haven't been paid, which would red flag, oh, you may not be able to use the PO for whatever vendor because you haven't paid your. So it's starting to predict those things. I thought that was kind of really interesting use cases for this.
Well, and I think that, and this is somewhat related but unrelated, but I think that what people don't realize the benefits of being proactive as opposed to reactive. And there was a customer service example I heard years ago, and basically it was ladies walking up to the front door of a hotel. She's got a bunch of packages. She's struggling to open the door up. The maintenance guy who's up a ladder sees this, jumps down from his ladder, goes and opens the door for this lady, and she walks in. And they said, "Is that great customer service?" And everybody said, "Yeah." And this customer service expert said, "No, it isn't. She never should have struggled in the first place.
Mm.
So they should have had an automatic door so that when she came in, it just automatically opened." So, yes, it was good customer service in that that employee reacted. But I mean, proactively, if you can get ahead of it, and I think that's what this tool is doing is proactively looking for those things and helping solve the problems
Yeah.
so that the
Yeah.
problems don't arise.
Yeah. No, it's just interesting the potential of this. And part of the thinking of what AI could do is part of that. It's like, hey, could do stuff without us having to provide the instructions or information. And you can see the benefits of this. And now I'm sure people will start seeing, like, oh, they could start doing things that are malicious or unintended. I don't know if the technology is there yet, but I also think, like, I don't know. But just what I've been using with Pulse, it's fantastic.
Well, and I even think, and again, and maybe it does this, but I think that even from a news and information standpoint, like because I'm in the AI space and because of the way that social media channels work, all I see is AI. And yet I'm interested in more than just AI. And I think maybe even if a Pulse could, a tool like this could go, yes, I'm interested in AI, but I'm also interested in, these other lists of things so that you start to get a rounded, information being provided to you and not just siloed so that everything you see is your interest. Because I mean, you take a look at any social chat, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is,
Yes.
LinkedIn, you start to show interest, that's all you get, and you kind of lose
Yes.
perspective on the
Yes.
outside world where you could initiate an AI tool like this to say, I want to learn more about some of these other things.
Which is interesting because it hasn't shown me that in a couple days. But initially, when I put that in, that's like, hey, I want to be able to jump my mountain bike better, and it's been giving me tips and information from a variety of sources on being able to jump my mountain bike better. So that's one of the things that I think. Yeah, you're right. With social media, you eventually enter an echo chamber, and there's always dangers we've seen with that, right? It's like you only hear what you want to hear, and it reinforces, but you don't get exposed to different perspectives. You don't get exposed to different things, which is detrimental because I want to be able to learn about all the different things and perspectives that everyone has so I can make a better informed decision rather than the exact same things being said over and over again, which doesn't really translate to, you know, in my opinion, not to get political, I think it leads to a lot of the division when you don't when your mediums are only feeding you the stuff that you want to hear versus like before social, how did people get their news? They got their news from television, radio, and the newspaper, or articles, or wherever, and or articles from like the whatever news site, and you made the decision, but you were exposed to a lot of different sides, perspectives, stories, and angles. Some not even sides, more of like, oh, that's a human interest story. Oh, that's really interesting, right? It's harder to get those in all the platforms today, which is kind of sad at the same time because I want to be exposed to different things too.
And again, and that's where I think if you think of like the way a Pulse is set up today, and hopefully they roll it out to all of the other
Mhm.
Plus users and free users soon, which I'm assuming they will. Um, you're right. It does have that opportunity to not only help you be, you know, more efficient in your daily tasks, but also potentially give you more of a rounded view of what's
Yeah.
going on in the world.
Although with the ability to curate, you might end up just listening to the same things. Because if you put, hey, I only want to listen to just mountain bike jump videos, that's all I'll get. Although maybe I want to learn more about, I don't know, doing a cross country trip in Peru, but all I'm getting is jump and that type of video. So
But
interesting that.
But you
Yeah,
would think it would be intuitive enough to say, okay, obviously he likes the outdoors because he's a mountain biker. So let's
that's right.
provide maybe some other outdoor related activities that might be camping or
Yeah,
hikes or other
yeah,
types of things. Where I think that we've kind of like we've now gone down into this path. Whereas if you're a huge Donald Trump supporter, then you're getting nothing but information that
yeah,
supports the Trump viewpoint.
yes,
And if you're on
yeah,
the other side, that's all you get. And you're right, it creates that division. And so anyways, but again, going back to from a business aspect standpoint, when I take a look at it, there's many days where I get to my computer, I'm going, what do I need to do today? Or what do I need to do this
yeah,
week?
yeah,
And I have it in my head, but my days don't necessarily always roll out the way
100%.
that I thought
Yeah,
because you get
100%.
curveballs, you get
Yeah,
calls, you get distracted, things take longer than you expect. If I had this AI assistant to help me think ahead, schedule better, plan,
yeah,
I think that's a huge, huge benefit.
for sure. So yeah, just a question for our audience is, where do you see proactive versus reactive in the future, and how would you go about using proactive in your business? Learn more about future AI business trends by watching these videos here. Enjoy today's episode? Want to learn how AI can impact your business? Then please subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.